これよりナイジェリアコミッションを始めます。司会を務めますカイラと申します。よろしくお願いいたします。今日の話はナイジェリアから来られたヘンリー・スミスさん、そしてユーラシア帝国財団共同委体閣総裁お願いします。We will now begin Nigeria Commission. Today we are welcoming a special guest from Nigeria, Mr. Henry Smith, and of course ユーラシア帝国財団共同委体閣総裁。スミスさんお願いいたします。
Thank you. I would like you to ask me a question, if you don't mind, so that I can answer. We're talking about Boko Haram.
Boko Haram の今の動きと、それからナイジェリア政府およびミリタリーがどのような対応能力があるのか、この辺をちょっと分かりやすく説明してください。
First of all, let me thank Sosai for inviting me from this interview, and where we're talking about Nigeria, which is where I'm from, and Nigeria being a country of a huge population, Nigeria being a country of a leading nation in economic in Africa. Being specific on the question that he asked me on Boko Haram, Boko Haram being the insurgent of Boko Haram, which is a terror, been in place in Nigeria for quite some time right now.
まずこのインタビューに紹介してくださった総裁に感謝いたします。そして私はナイジェリア出身なんですけど、そのナイジェリア人口がとっても多くて、経済的にもアフリカを支えている国です。そして今質問してくださったボコハラムについてなんですけど、そのボコハラムは過激派のテロリストとなります。
And Boko Haram is a very bad organization. It's a terror, and they have been killing a lot of people in Nigeria. And their targets have been more on the churches and villages and in bus terminal. And also they're taking some of the strikes.
ボコハラムは過激派のテロリストであって、今まで攻撃が一般的市民、例えば町だったり学校だったり、そこに攻撃をしている状態です。
Now, as you're aware, the other day there was a huge news about Nigeria on Boko Haram, which they kicked up about 280 students, girls from the dormitory.
そしてだいぶ前に大ニュースになったことが、そのボコハラムがだいたい280人の学生を誘拐したことです。
And before that, they also raided a dormitory for another boys and girls school. They kill and then enslave some of the students in that school and burn the school down into ashes.
そしてその学校の寮に侵入し、その学生を殺したり、または誘拐したり、そして最終的にはその学校を爆弾で爆発させました。
Now, the 280 girls, which is what we're talking about right now, as you're aware, the whole world, international media, they're all concerned. Even the American President Obama, and the First Lady Michelle Obama was also concerned. They were all advocating on this issue that the girls, what they call the hash, bring the girls back. And they were advocating for the girls to come back. But unfortunately, these girls have been taken away, and up to now they have not been seen.
そしてこれに対しアメリカ大統領のオバマ、そしてミシェル・オバマがこの事件に関して非常に高い関心を持っており、また世界的にツイッターなどのソーシャルメディアで流行ったことがハッシュタグで「Bring our girls back」私たちの女の子を戻せっていうハッシュタグがツイッターなどフェイスブックでとても流行りました。
And now these girls have been taken, it's been more than 3 months now, if I'm not mistaken, and these girls have been taken to a forest. In the state we're talking about in Nigeria is in the northern part of Nigeria, a state called Borno State. And Borno State is a state, has a boundary between Cameroon and Nigeria. And the forest that these girls have been kept for quite some time right now, the Nigerian military military. Before I continue on that, I want you to translate.
Okay. そしてこの女の子たちは3ヶ月にわたって誘拐されておりますが、誘拐されて持っていかれた場所はナイジェリア北部のボロノ州という北部で、この州はちょうどカメルーンとナイジェリアの国境線にある州です。
And the Nigerian military actually found those girls with the help, of course, with the help of the American Marine, American military. It was a special American force that was sent to the Nigerian government after this incident happened. Like I said, President Obama was very concerned, and the American government had to send specialists from the FBI, and also the Chinese government also sent equipment, and also the British, France, and other nations around the world. Even the United Nations were very concerned about this. And when they sent this equipment and experts, they came, they surveyed the whole place, they saw where the girl was being kept. But strategically, you cannot attack because these people they are not human beings. I mean, the terror people are people who they don't value their lives. They are barbaric, and strategically, like I said, for them to attack, they might in the process have the girls harmed. So the Nigerian army is taking their time, studying the whole situation and waiting for the right time so that they can strike.
そしてアメリカ大統領はこの事件に関して高い関心を持っていたことから FBI などからの軍隊を派遣し、また中国も軍隊を派遣し、そのナイジェリア北部に誘拐されていた女の子たちを見つけたのですが、しかしこのテロリストたちはその自分の命も含めて命を尊重しない人たちなので、すぐに取り戻す攻撃はできません。女の子たちの命も大事なので、そこで女の子たちの命を失ったらもう話にならないので、今までずっとゆっくりゆっくり慎重に考え作戦を立てているところです。
And now, after the kidnap was happened, and a couple of weeks later, Boko Haram showed a video in international media. We saw that in CNN, BBC, and other major international news that the girls were intact, they were okay, they were healthy. Some of them spoke, but when they were speaking, they were feared, and the number of girls was not correct with the number that was kidnapped, which was 280 maybe plus. It was only probably 100 of them was shown in the video, but the head of the Boko Haram, Sakarawa, he said that he's going to sell those girls in slavery and in sex slavery. I don't know if he's going to do that really, but that was one of the things that he was saying. And I see that gentleman as a coward and barbaric and inhuman from the act that he's playing.
そしてボコハラムはインターナショナルメディアに動画を流したのですが、この動画には女の子たちの健康な姿が映られ、また会話もしていたのですが、しかしその表情は恐怖に怯えていて、その動画に映った女の子たちの数も280人誘拐されたはずなのに100人弱しか映ってませんでした。そしてこのボコハラムグループはこの女の子たちを奴隷として売り込むっていう話をしていたのですが、これも人間性のない行動だと思います。
Now, Boko Haram is a big problem for Nigeria, especially the Nigerian government and Nigerian people. At this junction, at this point, Boko Haram have been more active in the northern part of Nigeria, which is called the northeast of Nigeria. And it's not Borno is their birthplace, where they came from. And Borno, from Borno, they have been expanding to other states in the north. They have not gone down to the south. They have not gone to the south west of Nigeria, which is the major, bigger city of West Africa and in Africa as large. Lagos state contains of 20 million people. And our fear is that if they get into Lagos, it's going to be catastrophe. And if they get into other places, it's going to be a problem. But at the moment, they have carried their strike in Borno, in Bauchi state, and in Abuja, which is the federal territory, capital. And this is a great concern for not only the government of Nigeria, but for every Nigerian.
そしてこのボコハラムグループは力を増していて、現在はまだ北 北部の方に力をとどめているところなんですが、ナイジェリア国民の心配としては南または西の方に移動することです。ナイジェリアの西には大都会もあり、この大都会は西アフリカの経済力を持つ場所なので、もしボコハラムのグループがここに移動してしまったらとても深刻な状況になっています。
Now, Boko Haram, if you ask me, why is this happening? What I can say, simple, is political. It is political motivated in the sense that power has been shifted from the north to the south, and the south have ruled for many years through military means, and through military means we've been having a coup d'etat in the country, severally. But right now we have a stable government, which is the democratic government, and been in power now for more than this is the you have 8 years of Obasanjo and 4 years the Rajoy regime, and then we have another 4 years now. So that is in total 12 years now been in place. So now the North would believe that this is their turn, and we look at it categorically that maybe. I would say I will use the word maybe because I'm not too sure 100%, but this is the fact from my examination. Some forces in the north are trying to destabilize the government of this current administration to make it weaker in the way that it's ungovernable, and so that they can come to power to carry on their normal duties which they used to do before. So. Boko Haram, the Nigerian government is fighting it seriously, but it's a very calculated approach.
そしてなぜこのようなことが起こっているかと聞かれれば、確かとは言えないんですけど、私としての診察といえば、ボコハラムは現在北部にとどまっている状態なんですが、現在のナイジェリア政府は南の方、そして12年にもわたる安定な政府を築いてきました。ボコハラムの動きとしては、どんどんこの力を増していき、いずれその南の方に移動して、その国のトップに上がるということなのではないでしょうか。
And yes, Boko Haram, everybody's like saying it's not a good thing to do. Is they have to go, and the insurgency has to stop. But the killing continues, and the killing continues is not good for the nation. It's not good for Nigeria economically. It's not good for the Nigerian image. The country has suffered so much from many coup d'etat. They have suffered for economic setback. They have also suffered from image in terms of reputation. But I see all this as challenge to every nation that have gone, any nation that have succeeded, from Japan to America to Great Britain. Every of this nation went through their own time. They went through difficulties, but we shouldn't count that as something that we should celebrate on it. But look at it as nature. But with time it will stop, and when it stops, the country will move forward, and it must move forward, because this group are just trying to divide Nigeria. That is the reasons. Religionally, culture-wise, they want to split it out, but we must, unite to fight back this insurgency, because it's barbaric, like I said, and should not let the people of Nigeria to disintegrate from the main focus, the main drive, which the country was built onto. And Nigeria have been, as a nation, for 100 years, but independently about 50-something years now, if I'm not mistaken, 54 years. Again, independent in 1960. But like I said, it has to stop. But the killing keep on continue. It's a concern, and the Nigerian military have not. But before I go on to this one, I want you to translate this, then I will tell you about the Nigerian military.
Okay. Okay.
頑張ってください。
今ボコハラムはまだ殺しを続けている状態なんですが、もちろんこの殺害は国にとっていいことではありません。それはナイジェリアのイメージ、そして経済的、農業的にも全てそのセットバックになってしまうことであり、しかし日本もアメリカも全ての国は こういう経済的発展の時代を乗り越えた、経済的発展をしてきた国たちなので、これは自然なことであり、いずれこのボコハラムの力が崩れたら、破壊されたら、ナイジェリアはまた統一して新しい国づくりを始めると私は信じています。そのために今国が一つとなって、ボコハラムは今、2つに分けようとしているのですが、文化的にも宗教的にも国を分けようとしているのですが、今こそがその国民たちがユナイト統一して、ボコハラムに立ち向かう時期だと私は思っています。
The Nigerian military have a very, it's one of the strongest military in West Africa. I mean, the best and the strong. And in terms of, they have the highest in numbers and in terms of equipment as well. They're very, very strategic. But Boko Haram is a new fight. Terrorism is a new fight. The Nigerian military wasn't trained for that all these years. And this is something that is challengeable. And they have see it as something that they need to put more effort and more strength so that they can overcome it. And there, as I tell you, right now there is serious consultation going on from the America to the Europeans, especially the French and the British. And the Nigerian military budget just went up this year, up very huge, up to about $2.8 billion. And they're going to use that money more on equipment and more intelligence and other stuff to make sure that they defeat this insurgency, which is a disease into the society. And we, Nigerian, especially the Nigerian government, is dedicated to fight for this, to fight for the defeat of this. And as you know, terror is not a one nation issue. It's a global issue, because if you can't control it or contain it in one particular place, it will spray. And when you spray, you're not safe. I'm not safe. The neighbors are not safe. In America, are not safe as well. And that is why the whole world came together to make sure that they get this going.
ナイジェリア政府の軍隊はとても優秀で、武器も数も全部整っているのですが、しかしこのテロリストと戦うということは新しいことであり、命を尊重しない人間性のないテロリストですから、どういうふうに立ち向かえばいいかという課題に当たっています。そして、イギリスなど海外の力から応援されて、またその軍隊がますます近々伸びてきたのですが、やっぱりこのナイジェリアでこのテロリストをどうにかしないと、やはり近所、そして海外にも広がってしまうことなので、世界中が一つになって立ち向かうべきことだと思います。
Now, terror, as you know, in every terror or whatever group in this world that is a terrorist group, it's always difficult to defeat because they are invisible. Invisible in the sense that the leader hides from far away, and they have the sponsor that give money, or to buy the equipment or whatever that they use. And these are people who they pay or maybe volunteer to go for the war, and they put bombs in their body, go to a crowded place and explode themselves. In Nigeria, we have stuff like that. We have things like that. Some of it, in some cases, they put a bag full of bomb in the bus terminal or in the bus and walk away, and they time it. And within certain hours or maybe minutes, they explode. And a lot of people died, which is not right. But like I said, it's very difficult to fight. But for you to fight this kind of a terror, you need people, and you need the locals. You need intelligence, and America, experienced the same thing in 9/11, and still experiencing the challenges. And it's based on intelligence. That's why they are defeating it. They are fighting it, taking the war to the homeland of where the terrorists are, and fighting them there. So Nigeria, like I said, is the first time they're experiencing this. Although Boko Haram have been in place for quite some time right now, but they are very, very serious right now because there's too much pressure internationally, because the whole world is saying, what's happening with the girls? What is happening with the girls? It's been almost 3 months now, and the girls have not been in school. And people are afraid maybe they've been sold for slave trade. People are afraid that maybe they've been killed. But, there's nothing someone can do, but rather to contain it and make sure that this doesn't happen anymore.
このテロリストと戦うことがなぜ難しいかといえば、このテロリスト軍団は影からの指示があり、そしてスポンサーもきっちり整っているっていうことから、その爆弾などを購入できるっていう立場にいるからです。そしてテロリストの攻撃は一般市民によくあることであり、例えば爆弾を体に巻きつけてバスに乗り込む、1時間後に爆発するということだったりします。これはやはり市民が一つになって立ち向かうことが必要なので、軍隊だけでどうにかなるということではありません。これはアメリカが9月11日のテロ事件で体験したことでもあります。
And don't forget, it said the Americans also took the war, overseas to fight where the base of the terror is, and they use intelligence to seduce or to bring down the tension of terror, which is intelligence is the key of defeating terror, because human beings, no matter how secretive you are, you talk to your fellow human being one day, and maybe someone will hear something, or maybe suspect your move and all those things. And that is how you can get information to say this person is strange, and this person, I've not seen him in this era before. The way he's acting is strange, so that it can be contained. And if you doubt the person, you can bring him in, interrogate him, probably find out some information that can safeguard or probably protect properties and lives. So these are the way I think terror should be fought for.
So, just to check, when you say intelligence, you refer to
intelligence. I mean, gathering intelligence. I mean, informations.
Gathering information.
Yes.
Like such as spying or
that's right.
anything.
That's right.
Okay.
From locals, people around, and
okay.
whatever you can lay your hands in. That's intelligence.
Okay. そしてまたテロリストと立ち向かうことに重要な要素の一つはインテリジェンス、情報を集める力です。これはスパイだったり、その拷問だったり、そのテロリストはどんなに陰で指示を行っていたとしても、やはり人同士で話すことなので、どうにか一人でも捕まれば拷問することによって情報は入手できることなのです。
And yes, Nigeria is dedicated to win this war. I give a big credit to the president of Nigeria, President Jonathan, who is dedicated to make sure that the people of Nigeria and the property is safe. And like I said, it's not easy to fight terror, but definitely must be defeated, because it's needed to be defeated. If you don't defeat terror, nobody's safe. That is the bottom line. Nobody's safe, and Nigeria be the key player of Africa. We cannot let Nigeria disintegrate. We cannot let Nigeria break apart. We cannot let Nigeria be in chaos, because if Nigeria becomes a chaos nation, West Africa will suffer. And if West Africans suffer, Africa economic-wise and regional-wise will also suffer. So that's why Nigeria is very strategic, and that is why the international community is very concerned, and that's why they're putting their effort to make sure that this stops.
ナイジェリア政府は一生懸命この問題と立ち向かっています。特にジョナサン大統領も一生懸命に立ち向かおうとしています。インターナショナルコミュニティがなぜこんなに、ナイジェリアに関して関心を持っているかというと、もしナイジェリアが2つに分かれてしまったら、西アフリカの経済がとても、発展をしなくなる、そして西アフリカが、最終的に混乱してしまうということになってしまうからです。
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
それでちょっと先ほどのスポンサー、ボコハラムにお金を出す、武器を出すスポンサーはもともとはリビアの関係から来てるんですか、それともカタールかサウジアラビアか。
Well, we think the sponsor is not coming from outside. The sponsor is coming within Nigeria.
In Nigeria.
In Nigeria. Like I earlier said before, that this is political. It is political motivated. Boko Haram was a small group who was like a gang who supported a candidate who was running for governor of the state. Now they helped him to become a governor by brutal means, I don't know, by forcing the people to vote for him or stealing the vote from the people so that he can rig the election. Now this fellow become the governor of the state, and then he abandoned them, not taking care of them. That is where the problem is at. Now they went back, retrieved, and then came after him. When he came after him, he fought them. And then the federal government had to intervene. Then in 2009, the leader of Boko Haram, Yusuf, was killed. He was captured, was arrested, and was supposed to be tried by the military. But the military of Nigeria, for careless reasons, killed him. Cold-blooded, killed him. So when they killed him, he died. They shoot him in his head. He died. And the group withdrew. They went back. So somewhere, for whatsoever reason I don't understand, because the president of Nigeria is a minority. He's a minority. And he was the vice president of Nigeria. When the president then died, he took over as from the acting president to president. Now he's shown interest because he wants to run for election. It wasn't supposed to be that way. He ran for election, and when he was running for election, there was few bombs here and there, but it wasn't that serious. And then he won the election, become the president, and there was an agreement according to the political class, saying that he will run only for one term, which is 4 years. Now in that one term, was supposed to be 4 years. He now showed another indication that he wants to run for another 4 years, for another one term. And then disagreement started. You have political confusion. And then you have people from one party, disengaging themselves from one party to the opposition party and coming back here and there. So within this cloud, that is where I cannot say who is the sponsor of Boko Haram. But the Nigerian government knows, because the president himself brought light in the television and said that the Boko Haram have infiltrated his government. It's not, they are in the presidency, they're in the legislature, the judiciary, and even the military. The Boko Haram are there. And when you say Boko Haram, it's not just those ones going out to kill by bomb, but the main Boko Haram are the one in the government of Nigeria who are invisible. So they are the sponsors. So they are the one putting money and equipment to this guy's hands. And of course, if you talk about Libya, some of the equipment of Boko Haram is using right now, because they have become stronger and stronger. If you look 5 years ago, 6 years ago, they didn't have much of a car to move around, but now they have machine guns. And some of this machine gun we think is coming from Libya. So we don't know precisely who is the sponsor, but we know the sponsor is within Nigeria. And of course, within Nigeria is a lot of people who has money from the north that have been in power and have money, and they're not enjoying what is going on right now with the current administration because they want to come back in power. And that is why maybe someone somewhere is sponsoring. But the Americans are working hard to make sure this should stop, and eyes are all on them. It's a matter of time, I think, this will stop. Thank you.
Okay.
It's a long one, so I don't know if you can translate that.
I'll try to.
Just, yeah. Okay. Do you understand, right?
Yes.
Good.
スポンサーがどこから来ているかと聞かれれば、私とかナイジェリア国民の意見としては、そのナイジェリア国内にいるということです。これボコハラムが望んでいることとしては、そのトップに誰か力を持つ人がいる。なのでちっちゃいグループを集め、一人をどこかの州の知事に立たせる。どんな過酷な手段を使っても知事にさせる。そしてそのまま放棄をして。知事としての責任をやり遂げない。そうすると政府が関わってくるんですけど、2009年に元ボコハラムのリーダー ユスフが殺害されました。なのでボコハレムのスポンサーは、もちろん爆弾を使った殺しもあるんですけど、一番のソースはその軍隊だったりその政府の中に、仲間というか人を派遣させる、そしてそこから情報を集めたりすることです。でもボコハレムを見ていると前はそんなに、武器とかを持っていなかったんですけど、今見るとマシンガンなどを所持しているんですが、これも確かにリビアから来ているのではないかという疑惑もあります。しかしやっぱりナイジェリア国内からのスポンサーだと思います。
When I say Libya, Gaddafi, when he was in power, and when Gaddafi government was at stage, he left, ran away, was killed, and Libya was in chaos, and a lot of ammunition left into the hands of rebels, and a lot of weapons was stolen, was taken from there to Mali, and down to other places. So what I'm thinking, most likely, these weapons are the weapons that are being used in Nigeria right now. For what reason, I don't know. This is one, and the other thing I want to say on Boko Haram is that the way they are growing right now is not too good for the society. It's not good for the people. They're trying to expand, going to other places. Like the other day, my state, which is from Imo State, 2 men came to a church on Saturday evening, and they went behind the church through the fence, and they planted a bomb in the bag, and they set the bomb at 8 a.m. in the morning that the bomb will explode. And 8 a.m. in the morning, the mass, that is where the mass kick-started, because people will come to church from 7:30, and the mass will be in the middle because it's just 1 hour, 2 hours mass, and they have about close to 1,000 people in that church. So when they planted that bomb, they came through the back fence. So they wanted to go through the main gate. The security men saw them and suspected them. I said, "You guys are not from here. What are you doing here? And how did you pass in? How did you come into this place?" And they started saying, out of point. So they suspected them and get them arrested. I said, "Okay, we got to call the police." When the police came and tortured them, they said that they planted a bomb. They went there and opened it. There was a bomb. So that's safe. A lot of people, had it been that these guys didn't stop them, 1,000 people's life could have gone like that. And that was happening in my own state. So you see, that is what I'm talking about. Information. That is what I'm talking about. Gathering, people seeing people you haven't seen before. You suspect and then you stop and ask questions. But it's very dangerous. I don't understand. So Boko Haram have to stop. It really has to stop. But like I said, it's political, and with time, it will go.
Sorry, so they arrested the 2 men because
they planted the bomb, and they confessed, and they agreed that they planted the bomb.
How did they get them? Why did they arrest them in the first place?
They arrested them because they came through the fence, the fence.
Oh, because they
planted the bomb, and when they were leaving, they did not leave where they came from. They went through the main gate. It's a church that has been fenced.
So somebody saw.
So when they were leaving, the security men at the gate saw them and said, "You did not pass here. How come you're here?"
Okay.
Because if you're coming into the building, they'll see you. So they didn't see them, and the face was a strange face. So that's how they get suspected, and then they get interrogated and found that they were lying. They called the police. Police came, asked them questions. They had to confess, and they took them there. They showed them the bomb.
リビアに関してなんですが、今ボコハラムが使っている武器はやっぱりリビアのガダフィ時代の困難によってその盗まれてきた武器を使っていると思われます。そして私出身の州、
イモ州
では2人の男性がイモ州の教会、すごい
大きな教会
なんですけど、ナイジェリアは日曜日に教会に行って大体7時半から8時の間に大勢の人が集まるんですけど、この2人の男性はその7時とかもすごい早い時間帯に爆弾を
土曜日から入ったんですか？
土曜日から侵入して教会の後ろの方フェンスの方に爆弾を埋め次の日の日曜日の午前8時に 爆発させるように仕掛けました。しかしこの2人の男はメインゲートから抜け、そこに立っているガードの人から見つけられ、質問をされたところちょっと怪しいということで逮捕をされ、そこで拷問を受けたところ、教会に爆弾を埋めたっていう、反省をしたので、そこで、一歩手前で爆弾が見つかり、大勢の命が救われました。これは本当に私の身近イモ州で起こったことです。
それは先月だったんです。
先月のことです。
頭ですね。先月の頭であったことなんですけど。Yes。
そうすると今のジョナサンに対して、ジョナサンを攻撃してやろうという反ジョナサン勢力がボコハラムと組んでるということも言えるわけやね。
Yeah, Boko Haram and the president does not have any relationship. They are not together. This is
反ジョナサン。ジョナサンに反対する。Yes. 例えばオバサン上の配下の人が。ボコハラムを使ってジョナサン攻撃をするために。
そういうことですね。
そういうことですね。
Yes. There are some, like I said, from group of politicians. That's why I say it is political motivated.
Political war だねこれは。
Yes, political war.
Kind of
political war. Yes. There are some group of politicians who are using this group to destabilize the government of Jonathan. That is what we say. That's how we say it. But this man, in court, you have to prove. Until proven, then you find the person guilty. If you don't prove the person, then you cannot point him finger that he is guilty. So there is no proof at the moment to say that there's a link. But we do know that there are some people in the north. We don't know their name. Maybe the government don't know their name, but they don't want to go after them because there is no actual proof. And we think very soon that with the help of the Americans and intelligence, all this will stop.
今大きな疑惑が出ていることは、そのボコハラムグループを使っている目的としては、その政治的な理由があることです。そのボコハラムグループによって今の政府を乗っ取り、トップに立ちたいっていう人たちがいるのではないかっていう疑惑なんですけど、これはやっぱり裁判で証拠を出さない限り、この人たちは逮捕できないし、指をさすことも触ることもできないので、証拠を出す限りはどうにもできないんですけど、この疑惑としては今本当に大きくナイジェリアに広がっています。
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very welcome. Let me say one thing. Sosai, thank you very much for inviting me here today. And I'm very delighted to talk about my country, Nigeria. It's a country that I love so much. It's a country that I want peace. And it's a country that I've suffered so much for many things in terms of corruption, in terms of human development, and etc. and etc. But it's a great nation. It's a country that has everything that every nation needs. It has the people, it has the population, you have the economic drive. The other day, when these girls were kidnapped, before the kidnapping, why I keep on saying it's politically motivated, they did it in the timing when there was a forum going on, which is called the World Economic Forum on Africa, for Africa. And Nigeria was the one hosting this summit in Abuja. And the world leaders came from the Premier of China, leaders from America, secretaries, and you have the United Nations General Secretary, Ban Ki-moon, and you have the British Prime Minister, you have the former British Prime Minister, and world dignitaries from IMF and all that. They were all there. And this would happen 2 days before the summit. And still the summit took place because the federal government was committed, and they sent more than 5,000 troops to the capital, and was secured from the airport down to the summit, to the convention hall, and everything went well. But like I said, Nigeria still is a global player. Nigeria economic today is the biggest economic in Africa. It overseeded South Africa, who was being the leading economic in Africa for all these decades. But today, Nigeria is, because we have other sectors that are doing so well, from the film sector, from the manufacturing sector, and other sectors that are, because all this while we'll be having only oil and gas and minerals, but now there are other Private sectors are doing very, very well, and that's why the economic is very huge. And Nigeria have the future of Africa, like I said, and that is why it needs to be together. And that is why for Nigeria to be together, then the world need Nigeria, and Nigeria need the world. So it's not only a Nigerian fight, but it's the global fight. And that's why I said terror is not a fight that one nation can fight. It's a fight that the whole nation can fight. And all the region countries, the neighbor, from Cameroon to Niger, to Chad, and Ghana, Benin Republic, and Mali, Cote d'Ivoire, all the West African ECOWAS have to step up and step up militarily and step up, also in terms of intelligence. And also the French is also helping us by sending troops out there. And the Americans giving us technology, Chinese giving us equipment. This is much, much appreciated. And with all this hand together, I see that the Boko Haram days are numbered. And there was another sad news that I heard last week. Boko Haram killed the Prime Minister of Cameroon. It's a sudden news. For what reason, I don't understand, because the Cameroonian government also is fighting Boko Haram from the other side of the Cameroon border. So this is it's not a Nigerian problem, but it's a global problem. So, Sosai, one more time, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to stand here in your studio to talk about this. And my prayer is that Nigeria will overcome this and in a very short time. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
最初に言いたいことは、その総裁にこのスタジオに立たせていただき、そのナイジェリアの話をすることができたこの機会にとても感謝をしています。ありがとうございます。そして、先ほども言ったんですけど、このボコハラムグループの攻撃ということはやっぱり政治的要因なことがあって、そのちょうど280人の女の子誘拐があった時期も西アフリカサミットのフォーラムが行われた時期でした。このサミットには世界中のいろいろなリーダーが集まったんですけど、やっぱりこれもあったのではないかと私は思っています。そしてテロリストの問題は一つの国では戦えることではなくて、やっぱり世界中の協力と姿勢が必要なことであって、ナイジェリアは今はフランス、アメリカ、イギリスいろんな国から支援を受けてとてもありがたく思っています。私はナイジェリア出身で、とてもナイジェリアのことを愛していて、ナイジェリアはやっぱり国に必要なものを全て揃っていると思って、全て揃っています。それは人口だったり資源、そしていろんな部分でもナイジェリアは今発展しているところです。なのでやっぱりこの危機を乗り越えること、そして平和がまた訪れることを私は祈っています。
Thank you very much. はい、どうもありがとう。